As far as concepts for video games go, very few were ridiculously absurd and far-fetched as the Sega classic Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. Even fewer though turned out to be great games with killer soundtracks like this one. Hit it! The game was based on the 1988 film of the same name, which was less of a movie and more of a surreal mashup of music videos, all strung together with a loose plot of kids getting kidnapped by the evil Mr. Big.
Nothing could prepare you for his movie.
The flick turned out to be a commercial success and spawned 3 different versions of the game. Firstly, a rubbish home PC top-down maze runner that looked and sounded nothing like the film, followed by 2 games developed by Sega, a scrolling beat-em-up for the arcades, and of course the home console version, which was what I played. And while it's easy to look back and laugh at the absurdity of the game now, I remember even back then it felt like a weird idea for a game.
Michael!
I mean, how do you string together this convoluted movie into a playable game? And more importantly, how do you transform the king of pop himself into one of the smoothest video game characters of all time? Well, this is how. First of all, you make your boot up screen sound like this. Then you take the coolest scene from the film and make it your first level. It also helps if the soundtrack is made up of 16-bit versions of some of the greatest pop hits ever, like Bad, Billie Jean, and of course Smooth Criminal. Then you give your character magical dance moves to defeat enemies with. Remember to make every other move in the game look and feel just as funky. Don't forget to turn boss fights into classic choreographed dance routines. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and sometimes turn into a giant robot that can fire lasers! I mean, the level of awesome in this game was almost immeasurable. That's not to say it was perfect. Some of the game was actually kind of bad.
Who's bad?
You're bad. There was a hideously steep difficulty curve that jumped up in the 3rd stage, so only rarely did my friends and I actually make it through to the final level, in which MJ transforms into a rocket car and chases down Joe Pesci through space. Honestly, not the weirdest thing you'd seen after playing through the entire game. Sure, other Mega Drive games out there might have had better stories, more action or varied gameplay, but it was near impossible to see Moonwalker lying there on the pile and not boot it up whenever friends came around, even if it was just to hear those sweet electronic tunes, or pull off one of the greatest dance moves and video game moves combined, the Moonwalk.